and they're back in Jason's cabin, and they're kind of looking around to see what they can do or how they can get out of there. And they hear Whitney, right? And they find a little trap door that's in Jason's room. That's when they lift it up and they go down there, and then he finally finds his sister that's been down there for however long she's been down there. And so they try to break her out, and then Jason is right on their tail, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he actually when he drops down, he just happens to be coming back. He doesn't actually know that they've found her.
Yeah, that's right.
And they are able to unlock her they break her chains before he comes around the corner, and they've already started their escape. He comes around the corner. He sees that Whitney's gone.
Yeah.
And he pulls out his machete. He knows something's up.
He's like, oh, it's hunting season again.
Yeah. So he's out on their trail. He starts sprinting down. We get to this scene, this kind of the heartbreaker of the whole movie. There's this round kind of hole where you got to get into to get to the next section, to get out to this kind of this other part of the area, or to the outside part of the cavern. And so Clay and Whitney go first, and then Jenna's halfway through, and bam!
Yeah.
You see the machete go through her chest.
Yeah. And I hit Clay pretty hard.
And yeah, he's like, oh fuck.
Like, oh fuck.
What the fuck? And like, yeah. And they play Jenna to be the innocent final girl, who's gonna make it to the end. And then Jason pulls her back and throws her body to the side, and then that's a reality check for all of us.
Yeah.
And something I actually really dug about this movie is that it takes no prisoners, and it doesn't necessarily follow those tropes of a slasher film.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. I thought it was fresh and inventive, and it kind of, I know it got a lot of like, what the fuck, like in the theater. It really genuinely shocked a lot of people, and I really liked that, because it's hard to get the attention of these people who've been watching films like this for so many years. They're desensitized, they've seen it, they think they've seen it all. So the challenge making one of these films is to get someone's attention. Or a real fan's attention.
Yes.
Better yet. Anyway, going back to the story, so Jenna's dead, and Jason's now following Whitney and Clay. They get up into this kind of abandoned bus. Yeah. It's covered with bushes and shrubs, and it's on its side, and it's a really good set piece, actually. I love that, this part of the film. And they get up on top of the bus, and then Jason, of course, appears behind Clay, knocks him unconscious. He doesn't kill him for the simple fact that I think he's just set on getting Whitney back before they get away. So he's focused on he grabs Jenna. She drops down and hides in this kind of little crevice, and he doesn't see her right away, and he kind of turns his head, and she's kind of crouched up, and she drop kicks him in the fucking dome as hard as she can, and says, "Fuck you!" And she becomes the final girl at that point. And he drops down and grabs her. She drops down to try to get her to crawl away inside the bus thing, and he's grabbing on her leg, and she kicks him down.
Kicks him a couple times, in the face.
Yeah, and he falls.
Loses his grip.
Yeah, he loses his grip and falls down. She climbs back up, and Clay's already regained consciousness. He helps her up, and then they end up back in the
farmhouse.
The farmhouse from where Jason killed Donnie.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
I think that's where it's supposed to be at.
Yes.
And so they're kind of gearing up for the final showdown.
Yeah, they're kind of I know Clay grabs another knife or a weapon of some sort, right? Off the wall.
And then bam, fucking Jason comes with a big jump scare through the fucking wall, grabs him from the behind, and they start fighting one-on-one.
Yeah.
And he's they initiate the fucking this what is it?
A chipper.
Yeah, a wood chipper.
Wood chipper.
Which looks devastating.
Fuck yeah.
And so, of course, Jason gets the upper hand on Clay, and he's pushing his face further and further into the blades. And you get some images of Point Break there for a second.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
And then Whitney jumps in because she looks like Pamela.
And she pulls out the locket.
And she starts to brainwash Jason and saying, Jason, it's okay. Don't worry anymore. Mommy's here. And she kind of baby talks him, and he buys it. And she does that for a few seconds, and then this gives Clay enough time to kind of regain his strength. He grabs the chain, wraps it around Jason's neck, throws the chain in the wood chipper.
Yeah.
So this creates this kind of
the noose almost kind of hanging him.
Yeah, it raises up. He can't. You think he's not going to get free, but because Jason is a fucking beast,
he weighs like 400 pounds.
The fucking noose thing breaks.
Yeah.
And he hits Clay in the face with a piece of wood again. All gnarly.
Yeah.
And the chain prevents him from getting to
because he runs straight towards Whitney, and
the machine jerks him back.
Yeah, kind of like a pit bull.
And the wood chipper starts to slowly bring him into the blades, and he's fighting, and then of course because he's fucking strong, he's kind of being able to keep himself out.
Yeah.
And she picks up Whitney picks up his machete, and what's her
she said say hello to mommy for me in hell. Yeah.
And she stabs him in the heart.
Stabs him through the heart. Yep.
And his
body gets pulled in a little bit to the wood chipper, and you can see it start to scrape the top of his head.
And that's all it gets to.
Yeah. Because his body's probably too big to even fit through there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And he basically they think that he's dead.
Yeah.
And
then it cuts to the dock scene when they're at the dock, and you see Whitney kind of just curled up, crying or whatever she's doing, and
they have his body laying on the dock, and his mask. They've taken off his mask.
Yeah.
Clay throws his body into the water,
kicks his mask in, and
of course they do that iconic scene where he floats to the bottom of the water, and we see this kind of beautiful
a shot.
Yeah, a shot of the mask kind of sticking in the rubble.
And it lands right into the rocks, and it's just there for a couple seconds. It's a beautiful shot.
Yes, the cinematography there is great. And we cut back up to land on the dock, and they're kind of consulting each other like, hey, it's over, silently.
Yeah.
And boom, Jason comes up for one last jump scare.
Up through the docks.
Through the middle of the docks to grab Whitney.
Yeah.
Again, and
it cuts to black.
It cuts to black, and that's the end of this film.
Yeah.
I liked it, man.
I did too.
I think it's good. It's a great pick.
Yeah.
And it's a solid pick to kick off our Halloween adventures.
Yes. Oh yeah. I think so. I'm glad you liked it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hope we both hope that everyone listening liked it.
Or at least liked our rendition, our retelling, our narration
of
the film.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it yet, we hope you put us on pause because we gave you
we spoiled the whole
a play-by-play.
Yeah.
So we're sorry if you haven't seen it yet. Hopefully you have. If not, we hope we inspired you to check it out.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can stream it for a couple dollars or pick it up in the blue bin. I think I've seen it in.
I think so. Yeah. At Walmart.
Should be under $10.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it to add to the collection. I think. Pretty nice slasher, I think. Do you want to do some Swan facts?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
All right. Swan facts. All right, where are we gonna start? So, Michael Bay actually walked out during the film because he thought it contained too much graphic nudity and sex.
Oh, wow. All right.
That's the one I wanted to tell you about that I thought you would appreciate.
Oh, wow.
The red carpet premiere, he left.
Wow.
Because it offended him, which is funny because it's like, dude, you had Megan Fox over to wash your car in a bikini as an audition.
Right.
So, what are you talking about?
Yeah, what's going on here?
Get off your high horse there, buddy. All right. Moving on. You don't actually catch the title card until about 25 minutes in. This is rare for a horror film at all. It really hadn't been done until this.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
This film had the biggest opening weekend for a horror remake at $42 million, beating out the 2004 flick The Grudge, which capped off at $39 million.
Okay.
Opening weekend.
Yeah.
In the original film, Jason never appears as an adult, and he is not the killer, as we talked about.
They even talk about that in Scream. That's one of the questions.
Yeah,
Halle Berry. Halle Berry. Drew Barrymore. Another Berry.
That she's like, oh, I've seen that movie 1 million times.
Yeah, like 1 million times.
And he's like, no, you haven't, because if you had, then you would know that it was Mrs. Voorhees that was the original killer. Yeah. Jason didn't show up until the sequel.
Yep.
Boom, classic dialogue right there.
Now you're dead.
She was dead anyway.
Yeah.
Because they say that at the end. Matthew Lillard, right? He says, you get it right, you're dead. You get it wrong, you're dead. Booga!
Oh my god.
Oh man. It isn't until part 3 that Jason actually dons the infamous hockey mask. Derek Mears, who plays our Jason in this film, said his performance was inspired partly by Rambo in First Blood. Call back to your news, buddy.
Yeah.
Boom. Tommy Jarvis, which is a mainstay from the franchise, was originally going to return as the nemesis of Jason in this piece. Okay. But then I guess they decided not to go with that.
Yeah.
Supernatural stars Jared and Jensen. Was Jensen Ackles?
Jensen, yeah.
Have both starred in 80s remakes.
Yeah.
And then, as we said during the movie, Jared was also in House of Wax, the remake. There's only one real mention of the date that this all happens on, actually.
Okay.
Like, it's called Friday the 13th, but they never really tell you that it's happening on Friday the 13th. Yeah. Except for this one shot where they go into an office or something, and you can see one of the set pieces. There's a tearaway calendar that says Friday the 13th.
Okay.
And that's the one thing that you would think that it would have a little bit. They would have a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's funny. In there.
Like, they already know what day it is.
Yeah. Fuck. God.
Get it together.
This film was actually released on Friday, February 13th, 2009.
Nice.
This is the first film in the franchise to be released both by New Line and Paramount Pictures. Willa Ford learned how to wakeboard in 10 days to be prepared for shooting.
Topless?
I don't know about that. That was a bonus. They were like, yeah, we think this would be better if you were naked. You know, that'd be cool. Sequel. The sequel was actually announced and then debunked later by the director on Twitter.
Yeah, that sucks.
I think Paramount pulled the plug. And that's the end of my Swan Facts. Do you want to jump into a little featurette, some featurette audio that I pulled up real quick?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Let's check that out. Boom.
Did you know a young boy drowned here?
People go missing around here, they're gone for good.
His name was Jason. He was my son.
Oh my God.
And today is his birthday.
you have this iconic character, Jason Voorhees, and it was a great jumping off point for us to take this character and think of a way to reintroduce him to a new audience and the old